Hi, welcome back to the channel for this week's weekly reading, and if you're new, thanks for joining me. So this week's reading takes into account the fiery full moon of Aries that's happening on the 29th of September, and I'm recording this on the 25th of September. The first thing I want to talk about, though, before I get into the full moon energy, is the awakening or the re-emergence of things within you that may have been dormant for a while. So that if you have been sitting on projects, if you've been feeling like there's a bit of you that is missing, or that you kind of say, where's my drive, where's my energy, where's my focus, it feels like the clarity is now coming back, that this is the time where you will actually have that crystal clear vision or idea or focus. And it still may not be time to put it into planning or into action, but it feels like the energy will re-emerge. As I began to prepare for this reading, the words to the Doors song, Riders on the Storm, just kept coming in loud and clear, and it was just on repeat, repeat, repeat. And because it's a weird kind of a song, I had to actually write the lyrics down, and I'm just going to read them briefly because there's so much in this song. And I know it has come up in one of my readings a couple of years ago. And this song is the last song that Jim Morrison ever wrote before he died. And he died of congestive heart failure. And I really feel that this Libran season that we're moving into is the acceptance of our masculine and our feminine, and where they're at war with each other, and really bringing balance to that. But just listen to these lyrics for a moment and I'll tell you how I see it playing out for us this week. So it's riders on the storm, riders on the storm. I'm not going to sing it. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone. Now, even that part says to me, when we chose as spiritual beings to come into this world, we came into a stormy energy. We didn't come into paradise already created. We are in the process of creating a world that has harmony, that has balance, that is sustainable. So we've been thrown into the world like a dog without a bone. And that means that potentially for many of us, we haven't always had exactly what we wanted. And I love this next part because it says there's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. And that for me says that the killer on the road is the energy of our mind, that it's like a hitchhiker that gets into our body or gets into our car. And that hitchhiker being anything that's been negative in your life, anything that has been destructive or persistent that you just can't let go of and that seems to keep reappearing. So those hitchhikers may have come back into your world momentarily in your mind in the last week or so. And those hitchhikers are those really persistent, deep negative patterns and thoughts and beliefs that you've held. And even though you've done so much work in the last few years, it's like they've just come back to let you know that sometimes they're still there. So that's the mental energy. That's the mind being overactive and really catastrophizing. And the next part of the lyrics are, take a long holiday and let your children play. And if you give this man a ride, so this hitchhiker in your mind, if you give this man a ride, then sweet family will die. So it's really saying, take a break, take a rest from that automatic going into the worst case scenario. Let the inner child play. Let the inner child kind of believes that everything's possible and doesn't want too much responsibility. So this is leading us into this Libran energy, the balance energy. We don't want to catastrophize. We probably don't want to be, with rose-colored glasses on. Although I always say, why not? Because that's how I live, with rose-colored glasses on. But being able to truly this week allow yourself to let go of the battle, the inner conflict. And that inner conflict will have just shown its head recently. It may have been something that was said to you, or something that wasn't said. And, I always say that, said or not said, done or not done, which has caused that mind to go into that overdrive and into the old pattern. So the next part of the lyrics, which I think are really important, it says girl. So that's the divine feminine. And this Libran energy, divine feminine, divine masculine. It's all about equality, justice, fairness, bringing things into harmony, bringing things into balance. So for all of us, the girl, the divine feminine, you've got to love your man and take him by the hand and make him understand, because the world on you depends. Now that's saying to me, or saying to us, that, and you know, when a lyric comes through from Spirit before a reading, it's not to give the song energy as much as to say there are profound truths held in some of these songs. And I'm sure that sometimes when the people were writing those songs, I'm not sure that they fully understood the true power of those lyrics and the true power when you look underneath the words. So being able to, as the divine feminine, love the divine masculine within you. And if you're sharing life with man or woman, being able to give them support, be able to, I guess in a way, encourage them to step into all of who they are, so that it really is saying to you this week that you are being called into taking leadership within the relationships that you have. And relationship energy, it really does seem that this Aries full moon will be about not using fiery force to get the things that you want, but that fiery energy may be present around you in little, I'm just seeing like these little firework things going off. So it could be that in your families there might be little squabbles, there might be little fights in relationships, there might be those misunderstandings where you kind of feel wounded temporarily. So if that does play out in your life this week, the calling is to step back and to really go into that aspect of not letting that hitchhiker take any space in your mind, not letting that, you know, those thoughts that you go through, or they mean this, or they said that, and it just kind of snowballs. So I know that this week, because we are moving into a full moon, it's always going to be hugely emotional. And I did have a vision of Neptune coming out of the ocean, kind of almost with this huge energy saying emotions are going to be deep again. And the deeper the emotion, the deeper the opportunity there is for harmony, peace and balance. And those of you that have family or friends or close ones that are struggling with any form of addiction or pain or trauma, and you feel that they're not getting through it, the message this week is to be reassured that they have come through the worst of it, and that there is this huge shaft of energy, this huge amount of light that is going to reach them, is already reaching them. It's reaching them through you, but it's also reaching them through angelic channels of energy that are opening and that are strong and active with that type of energy on the planet at the moment. Because that energy of addiction is the desire for love that's out of balance. So anybody that has any form of addiction, now that can be addiction to work, addiction to catastrophizing, addiction to all the substances, or any kind of addiction, but not so much substances as thoughts, beliefs, behaviors. So that addictive behavior, keep doing the same thing over and over again. The guidance this week is that will really just kind of step to the side, that people will have that, oh my goodness me, they'll find this energy of satisfaction within them that enables them to step away from those feelings, thoughts and beliefs. And if that's you, if you're in that space, then be reassured that this full moon is going to show you clearly what it is that you put too much fire and aggression and energy into that stops you from being that peaceful, harmonious being that can receive. Big energy of receiving at the moment too. And I don't know whether you've been experiencing it, but I know that we are being gifted at the moment with all sorts of different ways that we can receive abundance. And I believe that it's really this time of opening up to gratitude. I'm also seeing this energy of being able to, I guess it's the healing of the child energy within us that always felt that it would be hard or that we wouldn't have what we wanted. And that child that sometimes was afraid to show their face because they didn't want to be seen, they didn't want to be really ridiculed or rejected. So again, strong themes of love, acceptance. So I know that this week is going to show breakthroughs in that area. Okay, so I'm using the Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards, and I just had that funny face because when I did it, this card kind of jumped out and it's out of order with the rest of the deck. So it's the card and it's willpower. I haven't read it yet, but I'm just going to look at the energy of it. So it looks like, so it says improve your willpower to reduce your stress level. Quite an interesting word, willpower, isn't it? Because willpower is that correct use of the mind. And you can use your mind in a very creative way, or you can use it in a very destructive way. And the mental energy is the strongest forerunner for emotional healing, but also emotional destruction, so breakdown. People that have breakdown of emotion, where they feel like they can't go on anymore, it's usually because they have such strong willpower that they're only focused in one tunneled direction. And this is almost, this image in this card is almost like a river opening up and a river breaking through its banks. And we're seeing a lot of that on the planet. I saw a short video the other day in Cape Town, South Africa, of a river the ocean actually breaking the barriers and coming into houses. And then something else that I saw was where a river actually came through and broke through like a sandbank. And it's kind of saying that water, emotional energy, is strong enough to break through things, but it can be destructive as well. Now, in any form of destruction, and where physically things are destroyed and also emotionally where things are destroyed, there is always an opportunity for rebuilding and recreation. So, correct use of your willpower this week. And I think when you want something, it would be to understand that you can put too much energy into it, of saying, I want it this way. So perhaps open up the scope this week for how what you want will come to you, and perhaps being grateful for the opportunity to receive the blessings of what it is that you most desire. And knowing, because we are in this beautiful springtime energy here in Australia, and of course the autumn energy in the northern hemisphere, there is still this huge opportunity of harvest and spring. So harvesting all that we've done, breaking through with new blossoms, new energy, and those energies intertwine between the northern and southern hemisphere. So just because we're in one energy doesn't mean that we don't receive the benefit of the other, and vice versa. So those in the northern hemisphere harvesting, also receiving the seeds, the blossoming, the new beginnings as well. And with every kind of ending, there is always a beginning. So we're going into closing down and opening up. Really, really beautiful time. And I really feel this week, this full moon will be a chance to share wisdom with those that you love, a chance to make peace in a big way with people that you care about. Sorry, I just love the way this stuff works. So this one says, face your fears, a farewell to phantoms. Now that speaks totally into the hitchhiker in your mind in the Riders of the Storm song, where it says, there's a killer on the road, and if you give this man a ride, then family will die. So what it's saying is, it's time to let go of those, the ghosts in your mind, the fears, the phantom fears, and step into the light that you are. Step into the strength of your light. Call on Archangel Raphael for healing, protection, the divine emerald green ray, and also Michael this week for protection, truth, harmony, and cutting any ties, cutting any any associations with the old fear or old people in your life that bring that to you, that feeling of fear. Oh, I love this one. So this says, concealed power, and it says give birth to the wonder of revelation. And if you look at that, there's the fiery dragon energy, which again is online. So we've got all this water energy in these other cards, all this blue and green. And then we've got this dragon energy, which the dragon is the Kundalini rising energy. So where I said at the beginning, things that may have been dormant within you. I know when I used to read on Facebook and I was doing my weekly readings there, most weeks I would get a song coming in, and that hasn't happened for a while. But today it was kind of like, oh, that part is back. And it doesn't mean that's going to be the format. It just means that things that have been dormant within you, that have been being renewed or being moved around, that some of those things will come back to you. So this is saying the things that you've been working on, the passions that you have been, let's say, mulling over, the part of you, and that's you've got to give the man a ride. Okay, so that's your masculine, that's the divine masculine within you. That part of you that says, what's sacred action that I need to take this week? What's the new action towards your health and well-being? What's the new inner power that you can express through certainty, through knowing that when you bring passion for what you want as an end result. So for those of you that's struggling with health, and I know many of you are, that health, where there are things that you need to do, and you've been struggling with that, this is saying if you can tap into that part of you that really does know, and it would be saying, well, I know that this is what I want, but what's the payoff by not doing what it takes to get it? How does it keep me in victim mode? How does it keep me small? How does it protect me? How does it keep me in the shadows? So this Libran energy we're moving into, very much shadow and light, the dark, the light, the energy of combining those for harmony, and very much that yin-yang symbol in my mind as well, and saying you have to have a bit of light in the dark and a bit of dark in the light. And we are all, we need to embrace all. So this week I really see a lot of contemplation, a lot of harmony, a lot of reconciliation is the word that comes through. I think the last time I put these cards away, I must have put them away so that they're all over the place. It doesn't matter, does it really? Because I do want one more. I just want one more to finish up on, and to see what is the big energy of this full moon that we need to be aware of. Okay. Accepting challenges. Trust your inner light. Trust your guidance. Trust your inner resources. And one thing that came through very clearly for me today, when I was preparing for the reading, is that your divine intelligence, that part of you that is your soul, the blueprint, the purpose that you came in with, it always knows exactly what you need. It will always take you there. It will always guide you to it. So accept sometimes that it's only through challenges that we find the resources that we need. And if a challenge comes online this week, step into your light, step into your power, step into the beauty, the wisdom of all of that, all of who you are, and know that your challenges are what make you who you are. And the getting of wisdom only happens when you go through those challenges. So your challenge may be accepting that other people in your life have challenges and not being that one that always has to fix or always has to have the right words to say. Sometimes you just don't. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again later this week. I had a big download this morning on lots and lots and lots of topics that I want to talk about. So I know that that will start this week. And yeah, so watch out for that. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, I invite you to subscribe, and also click the notifications button because sometimes I post at different times during the week, and that way you won't miss anything. All right, take care, and love to hear your comments as well. Lots of love.